Well, hey, welcome everybody to another Tech Tip Tuesday. Here we are in August already. I mean, I thought we were just talking about June just the other day, but here we are, August 2nd. I'm excited to start this summer month off with a bang and get some problems solved. My name's Ken Close. I'm a member like most of you guys here in Healy World in the United States. I'm an engineer, electronics engineer is my background. I'm going to bring my experience, my knowledge, and all of the things I can contribute to the table. I'm joined with by Jake Barron. He's head of operations for the Americas. Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Good, Ken. Hey, everyone.
Hanging out in our corporate office over in, well, maybe you're not actually in the office right now, but
In the Orlando area, yes.
Exactly. We have Miguel in the background from the customer service department with the lightning fingers helping out. So here's how it works, guys. This is a chat-based forum where we solve the mysteries of Healy, blue dot and pink dot, maybe technology, theory, concepts, all that kind of stuff. So put your questions in the chat, and then we will bring them to the live forum here, unpack them, and try to gain clarity on them. And of course, if you guys have a customer service ticket, we've got Miguel back there can look things up and see if we can solve those in real time. So what we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, prevent, or even give any advice on microcurrent programs or anything that's related to conditions of the body. Of course, I like talking about theory all the time, so we can certainly unpack that for you guys. So hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and fire up the chat there. And if you guys got something you want to chat about, let's get this party started. You ready, Jake?
Let's do this.
Okay, here we go. Lightning speed. Greetings from Mexico. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. What's our first question?
It's a question about, this is a reference source that lists common issues and what to do. It'd be nice if we didn't have to search all videos, and now they are harder to find. So as far as troubleshooting issues, that's obviously a great question. And we have a ton of content now. HealyAmericas.com. We have over 500, we answered over 500 questions on our recorded calls on Tech Tip Tuesdays and Healy for Beginners and Beyond. And it can be a little bit overwhelming if you just go there and say, okay, what video do I need to look at? But there is a search built into YouTube that you can use specifically for our channel. So if you want to look at some of the answers and things that we've answered specifically on these tech calls, there's a way to do that. Actually, I can probably share my screen here in a minute and kind of pull up where you go to do that search, but you can search that way. And then, for each call, we also, if you haven't looked at it, we also index every single question that we answer on the call too. So if you want to look at just what was covered on last week's call, you can just go to the video and every single question is answered there or listed there, and then you can go right to that segment. If there's only 2 or 3 questions that interest you or you need answers for, you don't need to watch the whole video. You can just click on that and it'll take you right there. So I'll just pull that up here, Ken.
He's pulling that up. So like you were saying, each one of the videos, as you mentioned, are indexed or hyperlinked. In other words, there's a keyword that's maybe, or a key phrase that's assigned to a certain timed position of the video, and then there is the timer itself is kind of a link. If you click on it, it'll go right directly to the content within that description, which is in the video. So it's pretty easy to find things. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of diligence on your behalf. There's not like a Healy encyclopedia system, but it is pretty easy to find things.
Yeah, so here we have our Healy Americas. If you go to HealyAmericas.com, it takes you right to this page on YouTube. If you're within YouTube, if you search Healy World Americas, you can find our page as well, and you can subscribe to this particular channel. And then if you want to say, let's just look at last week's video here. We're going to click on This one here, the main page will always show you the most recent videos. And then if you want to go directly to, let's say, the Tech Tip Tuesday list, you can go to Tech Tip Tuesday, view full playlist, and you see starting in January is when we started adding all these calls. And I can understand if you're like, okay, where do I find my answer if I just go to this? But let's just take, for example, last week's call. There's Ken, he was remote, a beautiful remote location last week, but you just go down to the description section, click show more, and then every single topic that we covered here on that call comes up. But of course, that's just one call that you have the content for. But if you go back to Healy World Americas and then click on this little magnifying glass search button here, anything you type in here it'll search just our channel. It's not going to search all of YouTube, so it's a little bit more focused and more narrow. So let's just say you want help with master key. It's a common topic. And then you'll see here the first thing that comes up back in March, we did a master key deep dive. And then, okay, that's a good start. So if you just click on this video here, and then an ad plays from time to time, but you'll see in the description for this video, you can go then right to this segment about master key. So master key might have been the best example to go to, since there is a new master key process, which we're going to be discussing over the next couple of days too, to kind of understand that the physical master key is going away and it's kind of being replaced by everything in the cloud. And there's some benefits of the new process, but this is just an example of how you can find some of the questions. You can type in Bluetooth connection issues, or Healy pink dot app white line, or what intensity to use, what coil questions, anything you want, you can search in there. And there's another thing that it's not ready yet, but we're working on another way as well to make it more easy to search through all of this content. Because as I mentioned, there's over 40 hours of content and well over 500 questions that we've answered on these calls. So hope that helps some.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge resource, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, and that's just since January. I think Tech Tip Tuesday has been on the air for like, 19, 20 months, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. And I'm sure you'll find your question. And if you don't, come back here. We're here every week. So I love that. It's a great resource. And Jake's done an amazing job of keeping everything rolling. Okay.
And this next question, I think, is a perfect one for you, the engineer here. So it says, aloha. I am an owner of the professional model. I'm hoping to know what is the ideal amperage for the Healy to charge with. I've been charging the Healy with a base, I guess, wall block that it's 2.1 amps. So is this acceptable?
I love this question. So
yeah.
So the Healy can actually take up to 4,500 milliamps. So that's 4.5 amps, right? The amperage in which the charger puts out really signifies the length of time it takes to charge. On average, a lot of these chargers are about 1,200 milliamps or 1.2 amps. Some of them are as little as 500 milliamps, which is only 0.5 amps. It's not very much. And if you're charging it with just a 0.5 amp or 500 milliamp charger, it's going to take much longer. But the key thing is that they are designed to do up to 4.5 amps or equivalent in milliamps is 4,500. All of the chargers are a 5-volt output. That's just standard USB, so that everything gets the same voltage. It's just the amount of amperage will determine the time it takes in order to completely load that battery. So hopefully that helps. 2.1 is great. Sure. Yep, it works. All right. Let's see. As a pulsed electromagnetic field therapist and acupuncturist, would like a bit more explained programs for bioenergetic vitalization. Okay. All right. So the bioenergetic vitalization page, that whole page, was designed around stem cell propagation or improved activation. That's exactly what it was designed to do. And each one of those programs has specific targeting for what stem cells, for what purpose, for how to activate, that kind of thing. So, and basically, let's just take a minute to understand, and what are these programs doing? If we're targeting specific cells within the body, it doesn't matter if it's skin cell or stem cell. For targeting, everything has a frequency, and that's essentially how a cell is differentiated by its signature frequency. And so skin has its own frequency, so does brain cells, so do stem cells. And the purpose of the stem cell, whether it be regeneration or something in terms of an organ, it's essentially just, let's look at it as what we say, I like to say a battery charger, increasing the energy with that cell structure, bringing the energy up to a proper cell membrane voltage, which equates to scientifically known health, the healthy cell membrane voltage. So that's what the bioenergetic vitalization is doing.
And I put a link into the chat. Doc Steve did a deep dive into that module a couple of weeks ago on What's Up Wednesday. So that link I posted there takes you right to that segment where he discussed it.
Yeah, it's a great video. We've been trying to do some little trainings on these different modules, so the digital nutrition module, the bioenergetic revitalization module, the Healy search module. We've been trying to do some of that training on these Wednesday calls. So try to get to those calls. And if you can't get to the calls because maybe it's the wrong time of day for you, try to make it a habit to watch the replay. All right. Let's see. Linda's saying every time an issue happens, it seems we have to reinvent the wheel. What video? Where? Okay, I'm not sure what reinvent the wheel. So an issue such as, like, for instance, I think Jake was just talking about the blue dot having a new way of logging in, right? And this is something where in technology, it doesn't matter if it's your smart device or if it's your television or if it's Healy. When a new technology comes out, such as, remember the Blu-ray, right? Everybody's like, is this DVD compatible with the Blu-ray? Can the Blu-ray play this CD play? It was like, what? Every time there's a new technology, and Healy is continuously reinventing the way in which our bodies are balancing. So it's just getting better. So yeah, every time there's a new upgrade, we may have a little bit of a learning curve, but that's why we're here. We're going to help you through that. Okay. Let's see. Isabella comes on and says, hi, guys. Hi.
Good to have you here.
Thanks for being here. Love it. Okay. So, Bev, let's talk about this question. If someone is very sensitive to EMF, and we actually have talked about this, will they need to run the defense programs someday or forever, or does the body finally get to use the protection program so that they only need to run them as needed? So given the fact that they're constantly bombarded with EMF, does this also apply to structures? Can you permanently clear / protect a structure? And if so, how long and how many times would you need to run the defense program to achieve this? So this is a pretty great question, because I'm an epigeneer. And what that means is I teach people how to, through the influence of energy over the genetic code, how to change your body, epigenetics. And so this is exactly what epigenetics is, how it influences the body outside the cell. Sometimes the bodies are very sensitive initially. And so when you bombard it with anything, like I like your word, bombard it. So with EMF. And what's EMF? We've talked about this before. EMF, or electromagnetic force, once upon a time was way back when, was electromagnetic frequency was electromagnetic force. Okay, which is the way in which we are able to transmit energy through airwaves. All right. Nikola Tesla invented this. He was able to send energy or collect energy from the air, because within every oxygen molecule that you inhale, there's a tremendous amount of energy. And that energy is what's keeping the molecules together. And when you utilize that constructed energy, you can actually power things. So if you look at it from that aspect, you're inhaling EMF within the oxygen molecule, oxygen, hydrogen, and water. Everything has an electromagnetic force within it. So let's just talk about that for a second. EMF is electromagnetic frequencies or force being transmitted in the air. Of course, that we are now in a technological age in which there's a lot of energy being transmitted, because we have a lot of, everything from cell phones to AM, FM, ultra high frequency transmitters, all that kind of stuff. Even our light systems, by the way, even the sun puts out EMF. So sensitivity, the body that becomes sensitive to that kind of thing, is typically because a body has been perhaps bombarded too much. And that sensitivity is like an allergy. So when you are giving the body a defense, such as the Healy defense programs, you're building a tolerance. And epigenetically, you're going to start to shift the body's ability to self-regulate or self-manage. These things change over time, and it's a very independent, individual experience. So I can't predict something for someone because it'd be super tough to really predict the outcome. But bodies do evolve, and I'm going to give you some advice here. What keeps us anchored to a past, or the inability for the body to evolve? The body wants to be healthy for you. Trust me. Every cell is an intelligent organism. 100 trillion cells working together within your body in perfect harmony, but it wants to be healthy for you. What happens is the genetic code is influenced by energy or frequency. And what the biggest influence is in terms of the genetic code in relation to energy is our thoughts. And the more that we stay in a stress response or a fear response or a response of lack, whatever the lower vibration thoughts are, the more we stay within that, the harder it is for the body to have a high frequency, high healing aptitude. So what I'm going to say to this point, folks, is that we really need to participate in our own healing, in our own evolution. And the thoughts that we think and the beliefs that we participate within have a huge influence on the way that evolution takes place, or de-evolution. Okay, because a body can downregulate based on thought. Just think about it. Have you ever been so stressed out that you have a stomach ache or a panic attack or some sort of a convulsive action within the body? That's just a thought, a belief. So it's doing the same thing to the 100 trillion cells within your body. So when I work with people, I work first with their belief structures and what they're on board with. And then we work on the body.
That's a great point. And, within the question itself, it mentioned, and you answered it, are they going to just be able to stop doing this after a certain period of time, or will they need to run it as needed? And it's like you mentioned, you're listening to your body, and there's not an answer of, yes, after 12 sessions, I'm done for 6 months. It could be, the spacing might, be increased over time, or you might have a period of time where you need to run it more often again. It's just, you need to listen to your own body here as far as how often to run it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. No one size fits all. This is why Healy
Yeah.
works on our body's resonance, so he can actually adapt and evolve in present time. Every 8 seconds, it's evolving to you. All right.
There's a good question here from Izzy now that she was able to join. So, as I recently realized that my clients aren't syncing to my other devices. They used to, and I'm not sure what happened because I hadn't added new ones until a couple of weeks ago, and I needed them on my other device, iPhone, iPads, 2 Healys, did full syncs multiple times, even connected to each Healy just in case. Turn devices off between hard reset. Any suggestions? She doesn't want to delete the app and lose those clients. Well, you know, I definitely don't want to do that. So once you do a full sync and it fully completes, that data is in the cloud. It's in your master key in the cloud. Going forward, everything is just in the cloud. And then once you do connect and load everything, do a full sync on that other device, connect to the other device, it's pulling all that exact data down. So to me, it sounds like you're either not completing the full sync to get things into the cloud to be able to pull it back down properly, because it's either there or it's not. It's not just some. So, and I know Miguel put some tips into here, and Izzy mentioned also that she's in a very rural area with 1x to 3G. So she has to wait till she's in her office to sync. And I think this is based on that, related to the actual syncing of getting everything up into the cloud not properly happening. What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, so let's look at it per device, per smart device for a moment, because everything you do on this one smart device, doesn't matter which Healy it is, but everything you do on this one smart device, because it's all the Healys are on your same account. And once you're logged into the blue dot, across the board, all Healys, all the hardwares, all these guys are going to contribute to the app on that smart device. So you take 5 different Healys and you scan, 4 or 5 different clients, but the same smart device. All of that content is in the app. All of it is in the app. All right. Then when you do a full sync to the cloud from this app, from this smart device, and you do a full sync to the cloud, then the content, all those lists, all those clients, all those scans are then uploaded to your account. Okay. Then you go and grab another smart device. All right. And you get rid of this one. And you say, I want all of that content on this smart device now. Perfect. Step 1 is you take this smart device, log into your account, your blue dot, and do a full sync. Then it's going to pull all that content from the cloud down into this one. Okay. So device number 1, you put it all up in the cloud. Device number 2, you pulled it down. So that has to happen. All right. That has to happen, which with each smart device. If you want the content from smart device A, you got to put it in the cloud and then download it to smart device B and C, right? Separately. Then it's on that particular app. Each app lives separately on the separate smart devices, but the unification is your cloud account, right? That's the unification. It's just that you got to know, okay, on smart device B, did I do a full sync? Because I did 7 clients on that one and I did 6 on smart device C. And you know what I mean? Your cloud account is your unified collective zone. You send it all up to the cloud, then you can pull it all down to another device. I know it sounds maybe a little complicated, but hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. We have a MagHealy question here. So it says, will a TimeWaver practitioner be able to write a personalized program on the MagHealy? So this is a good time to mention that this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to do a deep dive on the MagHealy, starting from unboxing, a full unboxing of the finished product packaging. I have one right here. So this one's actually opened already, but I'm going to actually take one that's fully sealed from the factory in Germany. We're going to go through and show all the components that come with it, all the cables, the wireless charger, everything. We're going to go through the app and show the individual sections and everything, how that all works, the settings, the different programs. And you'll see on that call, there is an expert program section within the MagHealy app. So to answer your question, yes, that is going to be an option there as well. So.
Awesome.
But that call again, 3 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday. I'll put the link into the chat now. It's experiencehealy.world. And yeah, we're hoping to get as many people we can on that call. If you can't make that call, the recording will be available on our YouTube page, HealyAmericas.com, as well, as always. So.
Yeah, it's been a while since there's been a Healy Beginners and Beyond, because there wasn't really anything new yet, but now.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things with this YouTube page is that we've done these calls so much that every time we want to do a new call when there's new content to put up there that's not already available, because you can go to the YouTube page 24/7, watch whatever you want. So we want to make sure whenever we do something new that there's new content, fresh content that we haven't discussed before. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So Linda's saying that she's checked out the YouTube, but almost never find info I need. Would be nice if to have ongoing, current, easy to find remedies categorized. Yeah. Well, remedies, if you're talking about remedies, that's not going to be there. But the Healy Advisor Search module, which comes with everybody's Healy since July, that search module is where you could go and find a solution to any issue that's in that database. It's a very vast database. So you put in a condition in the search category and boom, it's going to show you Healy microcurrent programs to solve that. When it comes to say Bach flower or say any of the Australian bush flower or some of the other homeopathic remedies, that's going to be a study kind of on your own because there's so much. And there's practitioners, there's the experts, there's all kinds of stuff. But the reason that Healy's put so many things from crystals to minerals to to I Ching and all this different stuff, it's because we're in a holistic type of healing environment, right? And so there's so many practitioners out there that are familiar with these type of alignment modalities, and so that's in the blue dot. And it's going to require some people to do, some people are already experts, but then some people want to know more about that. I say, if it's the Bach flower, go to Bach flower school, all right, and go find out what that means. Literally, you can do so. You got Google Encyclopedia probably at your fingertips if you have a smart device.
Yeah, she sent me a message also to saying, I think she's referring to actual tech support type issues too. But again, as far as a top 5 list or a top 10 list, we are working on some new features, and we're always looking or wanting to make it easier to get the content that you're looking for. So I would just in the next month or so, I think we're going to have something that's going to make everyone very happy. So
I always love new stuff. That's awesome. In the Healy Academy, you guys are going to be on. Make sure you make it on to What's Up Wednesday tomorrow.
Yep.
Jake's gonna be talking about the new academy, some new stuff that's in there. All right. What's Up Wednesday tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. All right. What else do we have? Let's see.
Well, we had another question. There was some updates from Izzy, but it looks like she's kind of going to try updating the app to the most recent version there to see if that helps with the issue. But there's another question about, it says, hoping to learn one answer to one more question. Can I use any charging cord to charge my Healy, such as my phone cord in the car? And yeah, I mean, any micro USB cable. Most people have tons of these just sitting around the house, in the car, wherever. More so people that, maybe not as many people with Apple devices probably have those laying around as much, but yeah, micro USB cord works fine for the Healy, and the MagHealy, which we're going to show this Thursday, actually uses USB-C for the connection to the wireless charger. So it's a little bit different than what we've used in the past, but we'll go into a little bit more detail on that on Thursday. So, but yeah, any questions? There's nothing unique, proprietary about the Healy cord that comes with your Healy in the box.
Yeah, and the one that comes in the box, you guys, is like this long, right? It's a little bit short. I've got one that's much longer, and there's nothing wrong with that, because the Healy will easily dangle from that cord, if you're out in the air or whatever, won't hurt it. But I have a longer one. Yeah, they're they're everywhere. You can find them even at, now some of the ones that are at some of your maybe convenience stores might not be the highest quality. So if you get one that all of a sudden your Healy won't charge, don't blame the Healy, because
definitely always good to check the cord, try a new one, try a different one, even the house. And then also sometimes the charging block itself that you're using could go bad too. So those, if you're having issues with it not charging or not fully charging, definitely those two things are worth trying out before you go ahead and put a support ticket in.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Izzy says, I had an issue with the natural cycle when I went to KC 2 weeks ago, different time zone. It adjusted while I was gone, but not when I got back. And it was a half hour off. Obviously, deleting it was not a good solution. Yeah, you probably start over when you deleted it. So these things, the natural cycle is designed to interface with you within your time zone. Okay, so we're traveling, right? Sometimes we're traveling and we're going to get these suggestions. The organs still turn off and on based on the circadian rhythm, rising and setting of the sun. That's going to be the same every day. If you miss a time block, doesn't mean that you've lost the effectiveness of the program. You've just maybe not optimized the organ in that particular time. Now, I also think about, there's a time in which the organ, the chi within the organ is at its peak. Whatever the organ is, let's just say its peak is from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's its peak. On the other side of the scale, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., it's at its minimum. So you can actually run it at the other end of the scale as well to optimize or align the organ. Because when its chi is high, that means when you're sending it energy, you're sending it alignment. When the chi is low, that means you're sending it energy to enhancement, right? So you either way. And how do you know that's happening? Because the frequencies are looking at the resonance of your body. What does it need in the real-time moment? If your body is saying that the chi in that organ is low, then the program is going to read that and work on optimizing it to raise it up or within balance. Okay. An organ that's tired, ready for rest, no big deal. Let's just work on balancing it in that rest position. Not you're trying to turn it back on or energize it to digest more when it's not really supposed to. That's not the point. The point is to, just like if you're going to drink water for the body to hydrate the whole body and flush, because some of that water is used to flush out or excrete just as much as to increase movement within the tendons and muscles. Okay, so same thing with the frequencies. They're going to do things to align it. So work on the other side of the scale as well. Thanks, Izzy. Oh, I didn't know that. Ken, you're so smart. Oh,
I agree, Ken. You are very smart. So
thank you. You guys are...
Yeah. Everybody put your compliments in the chat for Ken, please. Thank you.
No, we don't need to do that. The chat is saved. We don't need all that. Okay. Okay. Question from Ryan. Do the bracelets need to be wet to be more effective? How wet? If they begin to dry, do they conduct less? So this is a great question because because these black wristbands, they have a medical grade conductive silicon material on them. It is not breathable. So if you put them on your body and put them on, not super tight, but snug to where there's not a lot of airflow on there, your body's going to naturally perspire under them. And your body's perspiration is very conductive. It's full of minerals. It's wet, obviously. So it's very conductive. So actually, if you wear them and leave them on for a little while, you're going to get a natural state of conduction. But I wet them. You're not going to hurt these, by the way. I will take my arms and I will just run them under a faucet. So it's just dripping wet. And then I'll put my strap on and then I'll just dab dry the excess. And then I know they're already started to be wet. And then I wear them. I literally, most of the time, when I get dressed, I get dressed with my bracelets on. I call them my bracelets. And then I wear them all day. And I also suggest that you clean them every day, or at least every other day. And just use a a pH balanced, I use dish soap. I actually use, not dish soap, but I use a natural non-allergenic hand soap, just a little squirt. And then I just run them. I just massage the soap all around the conductor, both sides, doesn't matter, Velcro on the other side, and then completely rinse them, shake them off, let them dry all by themselves, and then I'll put them back on. But I highly recommend, because if you take a look after a while, remember what I said, your perspiration that's under there, it's mineralized. So you can get some film on this conductive strip and then start to decay the amount of conduction between the strip and your wrist. So clean them up. Okay. All right. Izzy licks them. All right. Lick them. Lick them. That's another. Live is good. Just don't be eating a candy bar when you do it. I mean, you don't want that sugar in there. All right. Works good. I mean, our body's fluids, I'm just saying, they're very conductive. Why? Because they are filled with the minerals of our body. So it works.
So there was a part 2 to that question, Ken, and it was, do I need to keep the Healy nearby or on my person while the Pink app is running? So with the Pink app, other than some of the protection or defense programs, which are supposed to be clipped onto you, if you're using the coil, it's supposed to be clipped onto you, or if you're using the wristbands, they have to be connected to you. So you can't get the Healy too far away from you if you're running the Pink Dot app program, right, Ken? It's not intended to be far away.
Yeah, remember, Ryan, that the Pink Dot is all about microcurrent, or converting the microcurrent into magnetic emission. And so the magnetic emission, and irregardless if we're talking about the protection programs, the protection programs show you just having the Healy clipped onto your pocket or on your belt, and no electrodes connected, right? That's the protection programs. Now, but it has a maximum range. That's why it's showing you clipped onto your body. And yes, what's this producing? It's producing an electromagnetic frequency, a wave. What would we call that earlier? EMF. But this is a frequency that's going out, that's accenting, benefiting, increasing, and becoming coherent with your body. Certain frequencies are designed to match the frequencies of the cell structures in your body and amplify them. This is how it's raising the energy of the cell structure. Other frequencies that are around us don't. Okay, so when we're talking about EMF, this is good stuff. Okay, so it's it's literally out of the back, inside here is inside the Healy in the back, can't see it, but it's inside there, is a transmitter, essentially a noise generator. It's a frequency transmitter. And so when you have it on your body facing out like it's designed, because there's a clip on the back, not on mine, I've taken it off, but there's a clip on the back, so clip it on. It's designed that way on purpose. That's why the transmitter is in the back. So when you put it on your body, it's facing your body, sending the energy into the body. Okay. Now, when you connect the wires and hook up the wristbands or the sticky pads, it's still doing the same thing, but it's also sending the signal via microcurrent. Microcurrent is just a carrier device, like a pail. It's sending electrons through your body, but it's pulsating at the frequencies of the program you're running. Okay, so the body's receiving those frequencies in a pulsated electron flow modality. But again, your range is going to be the length of your cords. You'll still be attached to the hardware. You're not gonna get too far away from it. When it's the coil, if you're connecting the coil to the device, same thing. It's sending it out in a magnetic signal, a little bit more intense, a little bit stronger, because now it's connected via the electron flow, which makes a bit stronger magnetic field, but you're still wearing it on you. It still has a maximum effective range. Maximum effective range is near the body, right on your body. It's maximum effective range. There is no minimum effective range. So it's never not effective, no matter how far away it is. It's just smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller in amplitude. I'm talking the whole universe. There's some measurable intensities on the other side of the planet, but it's just going to be very small. Okay. All right. That's called quantum entanglement, by the way, everybody. When we start talking quantum physics, it doesn't work the same in this physical 3D world. You would be blown away. Okay. Yes, the Healy coil is worth its weight in gold. Okay. So Linda's looking for the link to listen to the MagHealy intro. That's Thursday night or Thursday afternoon. That's the experiencehealy.com. Okay, experiencehealy.com. That'll take you.
Dot world, actually.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Dart World. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in the chat again there too. So
Okay.
all right.
Yeah. And we're going to post it on the Telegram page. So everybody here should be a member of our Team Healy USA Telegram page, which is probably where you found the link for tonight's call. It's also posted on the website, in the Healy website. If you go to the shop page and you go to events and you look at virtual events, you're going to see all the links for all the calls we do every week. It's in there too. Okay. Let's see. Ryan says, more specifically, when running the frequencies with the bracelets, does the Healy need to read your field? I.e., does the Healy read your field when using the bracelets? Yeah, it's actually reading your resonance. So it's sending a signal. It's sending a signal through the electron field of your of the cables into your body, right? And reading feedback. So it's a two-way street. In fact, how you can tell that's happening is at about, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes into the program, you'll start seeing a progress report at the bottom of that oscillating circle in the middle. It'll say a progress report of some number between -99% and +99%. What that's indicating, it's telling you that what your body's level of resonance is with that one frequency. And you'll see it change every 8 seconds, right? Because the new frequency pops up, the Healy transmits it into the body and then reads to find out what your body's resonance is with that one frequency. Then gives you a progress report, the number on the bottom, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And you'll see as your body starts to, let's just call it charged up, as it starts to become more resonant or charged up with that one frequency, you'll see that number go higher and higher. When it reaches 100, well, you'll never see 100. You'll see sometimes like 98, +98% or 90, maybe you'll see 99. I never see that high actually, because by the time that one frequency gets back around the rotation, it's already charged your body up and it's gone. It just it eliminates that frequency. Once your body gets to to optimal level of resonance with that one frequency, Healy kicks it out of the routine. Healy will not give you what you don't need. That's the resonance effect. And I would highly suggest that you Google the resonance effect and you'll see it's phenomenal. And Healy uses that technology. All right. What else we got? Anybody? Anything new?
There was a question earlier on, and it's an interesting one. from Shayna. It says, can you get the watch subscription without having a watch? So this question comes up from time to time on this call because people that might not have the watch, in the Analyse app, the database includes the watch program. So a lot of times people say, though they might come back on the results that you should run or vibrate this particular watch program. And people might like, well, I don't have the watch. Why is it recommending stuff I don't have? But that database is available to everybody because the Analyse app database is a single database there for those particular programs for the residents. So you can vibrate those programs, but then also additionally, if you don't have the watch, say you wanted to run those programs, use microcurrent with those programs that were recommended in the Blue Dot app and the Pink Dot app. So technically, yes, you could go to the shop most people aren't in this situation, but if you go to the shop and go to the watch connector module, you'll notice that it asks you to pick a serial number for your Healy device, not a serial number for your Healy Watch. So again, I've never actually, I don't know if anyone, I'm sure there's some people out there, but this hasn't come up before, specifically in this particular order. But as far as this systematically goes, that there shouldn't be an issue with that.
Yeah, and the benefit to that is that the Healy Watch does have additional pages of microcurrent programs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you run a Blue Dot scan, so a resonance scan, when you run that, it's looking at the body overall and analyzing it based on the database that you've selected. And so if there's something your body needs and the frequency is the closest within the database selection of the Healy Watch programs, so in other words, the Healy Watch programs contains some frequency that your body's needing in real time, then it's going to suggest that. And like Jake said, you can simply run the vibrate mode in the Blue Dot app, and it's going to send those frequencies to your information field. In other words, it's going to send it to your blueprint. We all have this blueprint that's in the field, in the quantum field. And this blueprint is, it's got its perfect form. But as our mind, our consciousness starts to downregulate that perfect blueprint into matter, AKA the body. So in other words, the filter is the mind. As the mind starts to think about its conditions, its programs, its responses, its beliefs, perceptions, its ego, then it has an effect on the body. The body becomes deregulated, becomes out of balance. So Healy finds what that out of balance is and then sends the content to balance it into your information field. So it can come raining back down on you and try to upregulate your thoughts and balance your body. So it's a phenomenal way. You just, but if you want to add the programs, the microcurrent, then like Jake said, get the subscription. Now you'll have them in the Pink Dot and you can do a double dip, right? You can run the Blue Dot vibration mode. And then when you're done with that, you can hook up the microcurrent to your body and run the Pink Dot frequencies that way too. Love it. Bruce and Dolly are asking on Telegram, how do I become a member? Let me see if I can put, oh, there it is. Yeah. So Miguel already put the link in the chat there. Now, remember, guys, if you want to save this chat and you're on your computer, it won't work on your smart device. But if you're on your computer, at the bottom of the chat, next to the little smiley face, there's 3 little dots. Click on those 3 little dots, the bottom right corner, and it'll give you the option to save the chat. And you can save that, and all these links and everything will be in there.
Yeah, and one good thing to point out here on Telegram, when you are joining for the first time that group, make sure you join with your full first and last name, because we want to keep that group. People try to join that group and then they start spamming some of the members. So anyone that just joins with a sort of a nickname or just anonymous or something like that, we tend to clear those accounts out because we want actual Healy members to be in that group. So just keep that in mind. If you do, for some reason, you join with just a first name or a nickname and you got kicked out of the group, to change your Telegram account to be both full first and last name.
Yeah, and in your Telegram group, if you don't want, I mean, put your first and last name in, and if you don't want people to know your phone number, you can put all that privacy settings. You can, put all private, that kind of thing. But we do need to know your name, especially, I mean, some people just join Telegram just to be in that group, which is smart, So, but we do need to know your name. We want to see you and know you. The admins in there, I'm one of them. And so we really try to protect the members. And we also want to know if you're getting spammed by somebody, we'll go and look for them. Believe me, we'll look for them and we'll pull them out of that group. We want to protect you guys. Let's see. Okay. Kelly asks, is there a Healy Facebook page that we can join? Yes. Yes. Healy World Americas. There it is. Jake just put it in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, there is. All right. What else, you guys? Bruce is saying, says group is private. Yeah, it is. So when you click on that link, if you can't join, well, it is a private group, but you should be able to go in there, try it out. Is it still not letting you if you click on that link?
Yeah, I'm wondering because he posted that comment before we posted the actual link. So I'm wondering if maybe he was able to get in now.
Yeah, you just should be able to click on view in Telegram. Now, if you haven't set up your Telegram account, it's probably not going to let you in. No, in fact, I know it won't let you in. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Wow. 8 minutes left and we're caught up. I love it.
Caught up. Yeah.
Well, this time of year too, it's still summertime. People are vacationing. I appreciate you guys being here on Tuesday evenings. Probably, depends on your time zone. It's beautiful sunshine out for me right now, but I appreciate you guys being here. And I highly suggest that you maybe, invite somebody, if they've got people that are having trouble out there, bring them in. Bring them in. Okay. Let's see. Have any of you guys converted, say, from a Android to an iPhone or from an iPhone to an Android? Anybody done that? I'm telling you, if you haven't, then awesome. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about in terms of some of the challenges when it comes to switching platforms like that. And when you get a new device, maybe you've decided for some reason you want to, convert over. These two platforms don't transfer content very well. So all of your, say, your contacts, all of your apps, including, say, your master key when you're going to utilize another device. If you're just getting a device, let's say you're an Apple user and you've heard that the Android platform is more reliable. Okay, great. And you decide to buy an Android platform device. Perfect. You don't have to worry about transferring any stuff, but you do need to set up your email on your new Android device because you're going to need to send your master key. Well, actually, depends. I'm just saying now you shouldn't have to. But some of the older accounts, I'm still having some of the issues where they're still having to do so. So if you did it today and you're having that issue, you'll need to have your master key in your email account. But now there's a new way of actually, it's not really importing a master key. It's just connecting your account to your unique self, and it's done via a email. So you're going to need to set up your email no matter what. Right. So it's much easier if you're just using an Android device to use your Healy with. I have both, by the way. I have Apple and Android, and they work great on both mine. But to do that transfer, you're going to need to, or to actually activate your new device, you're going to need to be able to have your email set up on that new device. Okay. And that's an app. It's pretty easy. Log in, you're ready to go. Just had somebody talking about it today, said they converted everything over to an Apple and they're just like pulling their hair out. It's a bit of work, but I mean, depends on what your goal is. I like the Apple product. I like them both. Okay. Somebody asked me, Ken, what's the name of the hill in Colorado? You mean that hike I had? And it's a bluff. Actually, you know, it's funny, that spot I went to in Colorado, there was no trail. It wasn't on the hiking lists. I just turned on my billy goat body and went.
Linda had a good comment here. It says she bought a blue phone at Target for an extra phone to use with Healy. It works, but it's slow. So many phones are, there's like a monthly commitment for service. It was hard to find an autonomous one. So I think if you don't have any other phones available to you, I know a lot of us do though, some older phones, an older iPad, an older tablet, and you don't need cellular service. So if you're just using Wi-Fi, I have several older iPhones just laying around too. And so just keep in mind, it doesn't need to be connected to any sort of cellular service, and just look around, or maybe you got a friend or family member that has some older devices sitting around too that you could use as well before you go out and buy one. So just a little tip there.
Yeah, the important part is that they are able to run an iOS 11 or higher in terms of the operating system. And now actually it's based on the device for the Android, but I think they're up to 11 on Android too, but it depends on the device. And the reason they run slower is because some of these, inexpensive track phones or free phones is because they have a very low budget processor. That's what makes that's where you pay for speed. You pay for speed and you pay for memory. That's the two things you pay for with these hardwares. And so you're right. It's going to be slower when it comes to those inexpensive track phone systems.
Yeah, but if you can get a device that's a couple of years old, and then if you use it as your dedicated device and you don't have all these other apps on there and photos and videos and whatever, that's going to help too, even though it might be an older device, a little bit slower than maybe your current one, but if there's nothing else on it, it's also going to help too. So
yeah, I recommend you clear everything off of it. Just have your email account so you can log in, and then just the apps, just the Healy apps. You don't need anything else. Make it simple. I want to tell you guys a little bit of something about. I'm a performance junkie, and so I've taken a bit of a break in terms of my actual physical workout protocol to test the Healy microcurrent systems on my body. And so that hike that I did in Colorado was a perfect example. I ran the muscle program as I started, and it was only like a 40-minute hike up to the top. That's all it took me. I ran the muscle program when I started. I ran the muscle program when I came down, and then I ran the recovery protocol from the fitness page after. And my body I was not experiencing some of the typical things you may feel, like glutes and calves or any quads or any of that kind of stuff. So just know that these systems, if you run the preventative systems, so if you're working out, run the muscle, right? If you're done working out, run recovery. And these kind of things, if you're feeling a little low when you go to your workout, run energy. Run some of these programs from the Gold Cycle or the fitness page, and try to start to optimize your body and your performance, even if you're just going out gardening, but you're going to be doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Right. How many of you guys have gone out gardening and you're stiff and sore from maybe that excursion like the next day? Well, this is the way you can work on preventing that. All right. Well, here we are, about a minute left. Anything you want to close out with, Jake?
There was one more question. Miguel answered it in the chat. Kelly was asking, how much time do we have before the switchover version with the new master key process? And that new version, the 1.2, 1.0 is out there, but there's not a specific time limit as far as when you need to complete that. It's the next time you update your app, it's going to be part of the process. So
Yeah. The next time you log in, or well, when it updates, a lot of times when it updates and you go to open the app, it's going to make you log in. And that's when it's actually going to have a new system, if it makes you
Yeah.
log in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here we are, guys. Let's see. There's the last question. Would you recommend with the coil for, the programs used for hiking? So I use, that's a great question, by the way, in terms of for the hiking or the mechanical work with the body or fitness or any of that kind of stuff, coil or electrodes, because the wristbands, sticky pads, whatever, where you're putting the microcurrent right into the body, because that's going to have the highest intensity of interface with the cell structures within whatever you're talking about. Muscle, if it's muscle, if it's bone, if it's ligaments, whatever it is, it's going to have the highest intensity of interface or reactiveness. So microcurrent is tested, proven, and effective when it comes to like the deepest tangible effect right now. The magnetic energy is a bit over time. So I'm going to give you a little hint. All right, here's my secret. I use both. I use 2 Healys. I run 1 coil and 1 microcurrent at the same time. I run muscle microcurrent. I run strength with the coil. Now I'm influencing that genetic code, not only with the microcurrent of muscle stimulation, but also with the magnetic energetic influence of strength. So now I have strong muscle production, right? So I call it the dual helium approach. All right, guys, we got to run. Big loves. Thanks for being here. I so much appreciate you guys. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Miguel. See you guys again next week. Of course, same place, same time. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern for the What's Up Wednesday. Tune in on Thursday for the Healy for Beginners and Beyond. That's at, 1 o'clock, yes?
3 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday.
3 Pacific, 1 Eastern, right?
Well, no.
1 Pacific.
Noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on Thursday. ExperienceHealy.world is a Zoom call, but that'll take you right to the meeting on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So
there we go. Too many time zones. Thanks, guys. Have a good night, everybody. See you later.